All right, this says I'm live, and this is the first version of this that I'm doing. I wanted to do it on Facebook, but there was, I don't know, some glitch there. So I'm shooting this here live on YouTube, and then of course it'll be available. If you, by the time you're seeing this on Facebook, it's now available on Facebook. So if you don't know me, I'm Blue Madu, and that's all you need to know for now. I just want to jump right into this. So I'm going to give you some spiel. Not necessary. If you know me, you know me. If you don't, look me up. I want to kick this off with a quote that I had in my previous video, and it's one of my favorite quotes and growing on me every day. And it says, "A great human revolution in just a single individual will help achieve a change in the destiny of a nation, and further, can even enable a change in the destiny of all humankind." Let's let that sink in. Right? I'll read it again because I think it's just that valuable. A great human revolution in just a single individual will help achieve a change in the destiny of a nation, and further, can even enable a change in the destiny of all humankind. Pretty profound, right? And that's exactly where we are right now. Um, as I share this with you, or as I'm getting into this with you, I'm reflecting on a couple of things that I wanted to speak to in the space and time that we're in at the time of the recording of this. Of course, we're dealing with a global situation, but it's also local to wherever you find yourself, depending on what city you're in, what township, what borough, whatever it is, you've got your version of what's happening globally, happening in your own neighborhood or your own backyard or maybe even your own household, right? And what I want to do with this video is address some concerns, address our fears, our worries, and our concerns, and how we can convert that into courage, love, and clarity. Now, let me take a step back about something that's actually very critical to pay attention to. Our bodies, right? This is there's a situation that's happening right at the global level that's a health and wellness battle. Yes, it has some severe economic implications, right? Social implications, but at the fundamental level, at the individual level, it's my body versus a virus, right? Or a threat. And so my job and what I want to do here is equip or share with you, right, some perspectives that I think, and not just think, I believe can support you in being able to take as much of the energy that's used in fear, in worrying, in being concerned, right, or anxious, restore that energy back to yourself and convert it into courage, love, and clarity to help your body have the best chance of not defending against, the situation, but actually just thriving and growing, right? And being a contribution to your environment and the people that you know and that you care about. Like just like I read a moment ago, like achieving changing the destiny of a nation, right? And even if you take it a step further, for all mankind, right? Which is pretty bold and hard to really put your mind around. I said enough about that. The energy of courage, love, and clarity is better for your body and your immune system. I'm not a doctor, right? However, I doubt that anybody would question or argue or debate. Of course, there's always room for debate, but when in their right mind would debate that a courageous experience in your body of love and of certainty, right, which comes from that clarity, is better for your body's functioning, right? And if news isn't giving you the courage, the love, the clarity that your body needs or wants, why indulge? Why engage in it? Now, it's not that you don't need to be informed, right? We all do. We all got our version of that. But if you want to know something specific, you're welcome to go to, let's just take CDC and run a query, right? But moving forward, what I want you to do is monitor your intake, right? So that you really have a genuine opportunity to be responsible for your emotional and energetic diet, such that you are intaking things that inspire or co-inspire with you that experience of courage and love and clarity. That's going to make a difference. Now, I want to break this down a little bit. The reason why I talk about, courage and love and clarity here is I've noticed how misinformation has awakened this spirit of fear in people. I'll give you a perfect example or a perfect illustration of what I'm talking about. Today, I think, was it in New York City? Yeah, I think it was. Just make sure, let me take a look at something. Yeah, US. US coronavirus death toll rises to 1,035, with the youngest victim age 17, and more than 69 confirmed cases at the cases as Epicenter New York reports 50% of the country's total cases. Right? So you look at that number, 1,035. And I want to walk you through something. What does that 1,035, what is this supposed to do? Is this supposed to scare us into compliance? Is this supposed to scare us into, I don't know, into alignment? Like, what is this supposed to do? And so, that being said, I want to really highlight something that I just think is so important when it comes to how we take information in. That 10,000 or that 1,035 people that died, that are gone, no longer in this realm, right, are human beings, right? And I want you to just notice how what's about to happen, what I'm about to do with that number, just to put it into perspective. So if you are in the state of fear, you hear that number and you're like, oh my God, 1,035 people, a 17-year-old died. It's a situation, it's bad. But let me share something with you that's going to sound really weird and really off. Here's what it is. Those 1,035 people that is reported to have died don't have problems anymore. They don't. Do they? They don't have problems. They're done. Their time on earth is done. So, when I heard that number earlier today, I thought, there it is again, this whole death toll. But here's what we who are living are capable of being responsible for. See, every one of those people let me make sure I'm looking at this number correctly. Okay. It's US death toll. Okay, so it's collective, right? Those 1,000 people, 1,035, all have a cousin, a dad, or a mom, or a sister, or a brother, or a nephew, or a niece, or a teacher, or a friend, or a spouse, or a boyfriend, or a girlfriend, a caretaker who was close to them. I could go on. Right? And I just estimated roughly like 12 to 18 people are close enough to each and every one of those people who's actually grieving right now. And that's just conservative. At least 12 to 18, 20 people are feeling some way about the loss of that person. So the issue or the problem isn't the death toll, is it? It's the fact that 12 to 18 or 20,000 people are grieving, are hurt, are shocked, and they're going through some things in their bodies that could easily compromise their immune system just from the experience of grief. So they need to be taken care of by those of us who are well enough to nurture and to support and to love up on them. Now, I get it. The news's job may not be to bring this kind of clarity, which I just, I don't know what to say to that. I get it. News. If it bleeds, it reads, and all that. But like I started this off with, fear, worry, and anxiety, or concern, or stress just got converted to courage, love, and clarity. Maybe I can even add to that compassion. If any of you know someone who's passed away, you know what that's like. If you've had that happen preceding this time frame, you know what it's like to lose someone. And if you have someone who's close to you or know someone who's near enough to you who's lost someone to what's happening right now, you know the disco here. A phone call, a meal, text message, a video expressing your condolence. That's what's needed. That sensitivity, that awareness, that consciousness, that engaging in that requires a certain amount of sensitivity of or courage in the action of love. Because now you're clear what's really going on. Do we have a responsibility to maintain our bodies and our immune systems and all that? Yeah. That's also a clear thing to do. That's also a loving thing to do. It's also a courageous thing to do. To do it like boldly and say, look, I am going to do my best. I've been neglecting taking care of my body, my wellness, and not putting the right things in it. Now I'm going to do that. because I want to live no matter what happens. This period and after, I want to generate a healthy existence. Am I coming in nice and clear on this? That's what this comes down to. So if you've been getting hooked and triggered by these death tolls, stop. Don't. Become awakened enough to recognize that for every number you're hearing, you got to multiply that by 12 or 20. 12, I'm just using that number again, just 12 to 20. Because you can imagine like each and every one of those people, right? Maybe it won't just be 12 or 18 or 20 people that show up if they could. And not only that, even the grieving of those people, in some cases, they couldn't even see their loved one take their last breath. How about that? Right? Even the experience of having it be complete for them. That's where the real rough is with this whole thing. And so those of us who are here, healthy and able-bodied, let's take some inventory and think this through and not get shook and refuse to let this information come in and debilitate our hearts, our minds, and in our bodies because we process it as if it's just the only thing. We can't do anything about those that have died. Done. What are you gonna? I mean, what are you gonna do? Can't do anything about the 1,035 people that have gone. And I think there's this impulse within us that makes it. I know that we just feel like, oh, I should have. No, what you can do is something for that. That I just threw that number out because that just made sense to me. About 12 to 18 or 20 people know each person personally, at least, right? That are close enough to really hurt that person is gone. And those are the people that we actually can do something about and for. And why not focus on that? And when you focus on that, you get your power back. Because that's when you are moving in the direction of this human revolutionary experience, right? You're ascending from that state of fear and worry, being on the defense, to now being on the offense of identifying how you can help, how you can make a difference. Am I making sense? So, I'm gonna break this down and give you 4 things. Where is my document here? Here's the 4 things you need to do, guys. One, don't let yourself get misinformed. Okay? Drawing a blank on my screen here. Okay. All right. So here's where we are. All right. Okay, 1 is what you need to do, or what you can do. Notice how you're being misinformed and manipulated. Okay? Just like I walked you through. 1,035 deaths, 17-year-olds gone. Okay. We don't, what can we do about those people? Nothing. What can we do about the 20,000 that are suffering and hurting? Something. You see that? And this is what's missing. You know, I have people that I know that are close enough to my family that are dealing with this in their life, right? And I just, as I was preparing this thought, you know what? I haven't made that call, right? Just to check in, to say, hey, look, I'm praying for you. Hey, or send a card, right? Because it can't be approximate, right? Or too close. So I write a card, send a card. Or whatever actions I can take, right? There's always something that I can do. But just to start with, notice how you're being misinformed and manipulated, right? And this is not to stir up any conspiracy stuff. Okay, I'm just talking, like, just notice how what if, like, always ask yourself, like, what am I supposed to do with this information? And just genuinely ask yourself that question, and it'll help you notice how information is being distributed in a way that, I mean, sure, it should be, informative, bring some awareness, but notice how, like, there's just something missing, right? What are we supposed to do with 1,035 people have died? Okay. Now you say 1,035 families have lost a loved one today. Okay, now we put it into perspective. And about 15 to 20,000 people are hurting right now who could use your loving, thoughtful energies. All right, now we're talking. So just notice. 2, take inventory of what the most loving thing you can do is for yourself or for others hurting or grieving or impacted. Let that one sink in. Just like I said, I have a card and a phone call that I need to make to someone close enough to my family to let them know I want them to recover and I want them to be well. And, and I found out about it at least more than a week ago, So I got my version of that work to do. And I didn't take inventory. But now that I am, I'm like, oh, I can do that. 3, don't ever believe you don't have a say in how this ends. Personally, in your own walk, I know we all have our version of like discrediting what we are capable of doing individually. I know we want to sometimes give, contribute, and do this. It's like we want to externalize it, right? But there's something deeper, right? That's like, I'm the one that's capable of making the difference. Like for me, I chose that I'm the one that's got this message right here that you're hearing that nobody else, I haven't heard anybody else say what I'm saying to you right now. I've heard the generalization, the world is hurting right now. Yeah, it is. The earth and I get all of that. Let's get practical. Let's get sliced deep on this. Right? And bring it home to like what I can bring to the table that can make the difference versus just having more head knowledge about the situation. I take ownership. And this is how I'm contributing to healing and bringing awareness to each and every single person viewing and listening to to be well. Guys, the more fear and the more worry, the more anxiety, the less energy your body has to contribute to your wellness. You're worrying about misinformation. When I say misinformation, I'm not saying the number is not accurate, although, of course, it's still somewhat of an estimate. It's more like what we do and how we hear it, that's the misinformation, right? Including how sometimes the source is misinformed. But that's another conversation altogether. But bottom line is, you, in whatever way you awaken to it, have something you can do to bring an end or flatten the curve or whatever it is, right? And it's a matter of going into the fourth thing, having a faith that you practice. I'm not talking about, hey, you got to go to church. Hey, you got to go to XYZ place. I'm talking about faith as defined as believing in the unbelievable. You got to practice believing what is unbelievable. Like, this could end this weekend. Now, I know, the cynicism just kicked in. This weekend, I mean, how? So many people moving and doing what they want to do and not staying in place. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I said believe the unbelievable. It requires practice. It requires practice to believe the unbelievable. To do the unbelievable requires practice. And if it's not easy, doesn't come easy to you, you find yourself cynical, resigned, and unbelieving, opportunity to practice. Believing that what the outcome is that we are after here, of the restoration of health and wellness to the people we care about, to our communities, to the nation, so that we can move in other directions of contribution and value creation. Like, believe, give yourself permission to imagine outcomes that inspire you. That's what I want to challenge you to do. Allow the power of the thoughts that you have to fuel your wellness and the wellness of other people. Those are the 4 things I want you to pay attention to. I'm done. I'm done. I got my camera phone over here. I wanted to shoot this also on Instagram, but whatever. There's a part of me that's like angry, like I'm just angry. And I can laugh about it because I can observe myself being angry without like being caught up in the emotion. I'm just angry at just how the energy that we're experiencing collectively sometimes is not being constructively applied to bring about a solution. It's like, dude, scared and fearful people make horrible action takers, as in like doing something that's generative and sustainable for their well-being. You know what I mean? Like, you can take the action, right? We're designed to survive. You'll survive the threat, but in the long term, you just have a whole bunch of people nervous, angry, worried, not circulating or contributing to the economy and the things that people need to live and to be supported. So I'll leave those 4 steps below. And if you need me, you know how to reach me. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm here if you're seeing us on YouTube. I believe in human revolution, guys. I don't just believe it, I know it. And I struggle. I got my version of the battle. Really believing that I'm the one, right? that can change the destiny of a nation, right? There's a part of me that's a little nervous. Makes me a target, you know? But that's all the inner talk, right? That's in disbelief about it. So anyway, I'm sure you got your version of that too, that, really believing that the changes you make can alter the destiny of this nation or wherever you are, whatever nation you're a part of. But that's the power of human revolution. All right, guys. I'm good. Thanks for watching. I hope this made a difference, that this has inspired you to really feel empowered about what's happening. And that this is one of the best videos you've seen on what to do, as far as like what you, right, are capable of doing versus, the other stuff that we have been conditioned to experience, and be limited by. I really care about you. I want you to win the game of living a powerful experience of being human. And I hope you care enough about that to stick around. If you like this content, what I'm sharing, I want you to stick around because I want you to hear more of it. I want to hear how it's impacting you. So, like it, share it, forward it, download it, as long as it benefits you and the people you care about. All right, guys, I'm done.